On the killer for Kaitokids, it is their pick, and it is going to be Shirali, Rune, Ground Zero, and Luna on for your serves. And we do see our serves, speaking of which, spawning at the top side of the map. Nortor spawning all the way over at the 7 portion of the map. So my former teammate on the nurse didn't unfortunately get to see his nurse in action when he was on Omen, but I'm so glad we're able to see it around this time around him versing for Kaitokids onto Requiem. So we do see this is Luna going towards the 2 side of the map there. We do see the scratch marks leading into 2. Nortor picks up on that and is trying to catch off Luna off guard, but not really quite working out. We have made distance all the way down into 12, which is a very mighty fine death location if I do like to add myself, but Nortor going to be following up those blinks there. He's going to be trying to do a little bit of the zoning there, but not quite working out in his favor. Luna just playing very well around the LOS here, using the circus truck to the best of our abilities. He's going to be using that nice little vault there. Do we have life to our disposal? Not too sure. I don't think so. Going to have our blink being a little bit swallowed, but we tried to do a little bit of cancellation to get that first tag. Not quite falling for it. Rune playing absolutely incredible right now to evade every single tag. Now, I want to point out, not many times you really get to see the Nortor nurse because it's typically banned, but, you know, at the moment, he previously in Season 2 was around the last time you would have seen him play the nurse. He did manage to pull a very wicked result against one of the teams to the point where there wasn't even a point in time where he just kind of roamed around. Once when Nurse was on Cold Tower, he just went to the edge map and just sniffed out, and you're just like, how did he know that the survivors were there? But regardless, that's a story for a different time. We're going to go back into more recent events after getting a tag onto our Nia, who's just forced to die over in the corner there. Oh no, that's unfortunate. That's going to be a down onto Rune. Not Luna. I'm getting those two mixed up because it's a little bit blurry on my end, and I'm pretty sure that, again, that is chopped down to my internet problems. So, Chief, first down as a result of it. First generator popped in the trial. I mean, honestly, Survivors having the front foot here.
Survivors are definitely in the front foot right now, the pole position. Rune has been playing exceptionally well. His chase was beautiful. Hopefully he can have another one. Being spotted out actually gets a stun onto the nurse. It's exactly what you need, not getting caught out and giving a free tag. But I have some more insights. Rune has actually been playing this set so well, not just right now, but all day. He was scrimming my nurse this morning a few hours ago alongside LV Duck, whose nurse was also off to the races for these scrims. But I mean, Requiem seemed unbelievably locked in when it came to this set. They were putting up good performance after good performance, and even when they made some very big blunders, i.e., you know, running into a bad spot, getting caught out, having a quick first chase, losing Delhi, etc., etc., they were recovering and still managing to get a decent result. We saw a couple 4Ks at the worst of times, but they were 4K zeros. They were always outing, other than one occasion, though. They played exceptionally well, and so far, I think those scrims have been a good showing of what they've put up so far. We do see Luna on hook being secured to second, but Shirley will be able to head in just in time for a trade. That will be him getting Deli up if we do not try to hit the BT. But unfortunately, the BT has been hit, so it is in Shirley's best interest to ensure Luna is going to be able to get away before he is blinked upon. That blink missing does mean Deli will be up. We've done just enough. The extra haste you get from being unhooked has managed to mean that Luna will avoid the down off of that first set of blinks. Exactly what we need right now, and Luna is also able to rotate all the way across the map, and I think Nortor has just gotten a bit lost. We've headed over to 6, Luna has managed to venture towards 2, and at this point I think we might even be deciding to give up on the tunnel out. We can't really afford to let that go for too much longer, as 2 gens we see in the background, this gen here over at 7 and the gen at 3 popping both for only 1 hook stage is definitely not the start Nortor was looking for. This gen is not at 9, sorry, it's all the way near top mid 10 side, so beautiful stuff so far. Rune also having life on this pallet to be able to take distance, catching Nortor off guard. That will be another 2 blinks avoided with the exhaustion used. Lovely stuff from Rune once more, doing his damned finest to avoid giving a tag away. He has played out of his mind when it comes to these chases, and my word, we might be able to do it again. No, we haven't just yet. That's very unfortunate, though. I think he's still going to be able to do something with this chase. Nortor is looking for him once more. We might not be able to connect the first blink, but the second is also going to be evaded. Rune breaking LOS there just well enough to avoid this tag. He's going to be able to venture all the way deep 12, a lovely death spot, as you were talking about only moments ago. Shiraili and Ground Zero are doubling this gen that they have, and Luna is on another. That is so much progress, but that progress has been halted for just a second by the eruption. Ground Zero is also going to leave his double to set up for the FTP. We see his aura from the eruption on the screen right now, but it will be gone by the time he finishes his rotation. So hopefully he's able to cross quite quickly, get that FTP, and we can see these generators get popping. It's exactly what we need, Hunters. Our survivors are in such a strong spot.
Oh yeah, they're capitalizing all right, and it's just due to the fact that this map is so huge. My God, it's just hard to put pressure. I mean, they flipped the map very nicely, as you were saying. Death spot over at 12. Gen's being worked at the bottom side. We see Luna pre-leaving. The pull happening in the background. That's going to allow for a reset. We're just way too far away to be intercepting anything there, but we are going to be getting juked over at 3 as well. So Luna forced all the way into the top portion of the map. Nortor now covering ground, is going to be closing in the distance to try and get this tag onto Luna, and does so very effectively. Is going to result in Luna just kind of forcing over to 12, as that is the death location at the moment there. So we can definitely pull some nice stages here. I think Nortor has to just kind of chop it up to the fact that he is going to be getting severely outed at the moment, but hopefully we can pull back something towards more so the 6 stage mark, 7 stage mark, ideally. Again, like I said, this map being so big, that's typically what you would expect. We are going to be getting 9 done in the background, though. That's going to be popping anytime soon. So Nortor, after getting that hook, is going to try and find, ideally, Ground Zero or Shiraili, as they are our fresh hooks for maximum amounts of points. And that will result, at the very least, if we manage to secure all remaining stages, a 6-stage game. So, you know, with that last generator pocking, we do see a crow fly off in the distance. That's going to be Ace with medkit in hand. I do believe that is Shiraili. That's our Delhi player too. So I said ideally you'd want one of the fresh survivors. Ideally, again, you wouldn't want it to be Shiraili. He has Delhi in hand, so, you know, if you hook him close to an exit gate, he's just out for free. I want to say even mid these days, because of, like, the 15-second status endurance status effect you get. He is roaming extra close to the gates as well, and as he does get tagged over at 12, he might even get a body. I mean, it's pretty hard to take bodies against a nurse, but it is still completely doable, as we do run and try to fake the pallet over at 2. He is going to be faking running back into the nurse. We're going to momentarily stop our blinks on the side of Nortor, trying to really catch off Shiraili off guard. Is going to be again doing that micro juke to run back into the killer, but our killer playing extra patient. That's going to result in a down on to Shiraili. Now, if we can manage to just force all the survivors out the exit gate, the deliverance will not matter. That will just be Shiraili out of the trial, but it doesn't, I don't really think it's possible. I mean, yeah, again, even one survivor just kind of stuck in the map, and they're all trying to do the healing tech and whatnot. And again, there comes another heal tech. We do get another swing there, and that's going to be... Oh my God, hang on a second. Does he actually get it? I think he actually gets out. No, we get the pickup just in time. Rune's still in the trial. If he just stays in the trial, that's an insta-deli from Shiraili. He's just out. So we're going to hook him as far as possible. Oh my God, the tech there. This actually works. Hang on a second. We've hooked him over at 3. He's staying just next to the hook. He knows this is the deliverance player, considering this is medkit in hand. Insta-deli. Swing. No, he wasn't even the endurance. Oh, you hate to see it. He's just out regardless if we hit him. It does not. Can spot out the stealthing survivors here, as we do take one traversing blink over towards the bottom side, but we're using the second one here. And I was taught to play safety and always do the 1 blinks, not the 2 blinks. But you know what? Maybe Ground Zero knows something that I don't. So I think he does see some crows fly off in the distance over here at 3. We do see 2 teacher over at that edge map. Doesn't really have a whole lot to work with. Obviously, being a nurse set, you just want to be prioritizing the distance. But yeah, again, I think we've just caught a glimpse of him. 2 teacher is going to be eating this tag very nice and early. Is kind of forced all the way down to the bottom side here. Is going to be vaulting that window to get that life proc. He's going to be trying to make a basement. No, sorry, basement. I want to say shack right off the bat. We are just kind of zoned here, or zoned ourselves into corner 5. But even Ground Zero is a little bit lost. Where Zero, where did Two Teacher go? He just kind of sent it all the way behind Shaq. Does have the Shaq pallet here to his disposal, won't be using it in any regard though. He's going to opt to go for the distance, which is ideally what you do in every particular scenario as opposed to playing for the stuns. We are just kind of caught in the midst of it all though, in the corners and whatnot. We're going to be pre-dropping that firecracker there, but it's not going to do us a whole lot of justice. We are just going to be opting to go for the death location, which is the bot side of the map here. Maybe going for a basement hook. We don't have a lot of pressure on the map for that chase. We have about 25% on one gen, and again, I want to say about 30%, 25% on another generator. So White and Quinn are our gen jockeys at the moment, as Stay Narrows is preemptively stealthing out for this pool here. Yeah, he was just really kind of hiding out over at 5 around this this little, I wanted to say trash loop here, but it is kind of like a little bit of a cheeky pallet. So Ground Zero back to cover ground over at the main portion of the map here. We do see some nice progression over at that generator over at 3. And, you know, Stay Narrows has this pull for free, can get deli, as we are a little bit too far from the hook to get that down. Ground Zero now, he has spotted out Quinn now, whether he chases this or not. We do have Sprint Burst in hand, ready to Sprint Burst away. Quinn now has done so very nicely over back towards 3. We are going to be just going back to Shaq and really trying to... Oh, it was the FTP as well to deny the tunnel out, okay. So our survivors playing extra cautious. Two Teacher now in a full health state, can't afford to be tagged just before making the top portion of the map. And again, not a whole lot to go on here. Has to do a little bit of juking, do the juking. Unfortunately does the downing, and yeah, Chief, not really looking good for our survivors here if there are to pull 4 stages or 3 stages out the hat.
Yeah, it definitely is not. Those blinks from Ground Zero, sorry, I nearly called him something completely different, were absolutely beautiful. They did exactly what you needed. You got that one blink for the first tag onto Two Teacher. It did. We were able to secure a very quick down with him not being able to make too much distance to the top side. And unfortunately for our survivors, his death location means we have pretty easy access back over to 3. This gen has been popped once and once more now. So a little bit more time on this gen for Quinneer. He will have to try and get it done as quickly as possible, as we see someone over at 12 working a gen within Carnival. Naroz is resetting himself with his medkit after getting his unhook. Finally, his broken status from the FTP is up, but Quinneer is kind of baiting right now. We know he has the SB in hand, unfortunately, not buying him any time or favors. That's going to be a tag right on through it for only a single blink yet again. We've done enough on that double back to be able to avoid it, but our second blink, instead of using to follow up onto Quinneer, is used to get our tunnel out. We're closing in on them yet again. Two Teacher will have main to play around and Lithe to get us some extra distance through it, but a beautiful prediction blink from Two Teacher, Two Teacher, sorry, from Ground Zero, my word, that's going to be his BT hit for only a single blink and him on the ground. We see Quinneer playing for the flashlight save. He's not going to be able to make it in time. That's going to be the 3rd stage achieved. A tunnel out at 4, Hunter. We're not only about to meet the win con, we're setting ourselves up for a beautiful 4K.
Yeah, I'm thinking more along the lines of 4K2 at this point. We do have some nice progression over at 12, and Stay Narrows just kind of caught in the midst of everything over at mid-12 to like 2. We do have Ground Zero just going back towards Circus, so we're not even going to get that Circus gen done. We do have Overcome if we do get tagged from White, and he is just moving all the way down into 9, but our killer just kind of stuck at the top portion of the map, so he's just going to be following up momentarily. He's going to be blinking out the stairs, but the line of sight breakage was the 50-50, and White has won the 50, so he is trying to make distance all the way into 3. We do see the scratch marks leading back into main though, and I dare say he's just going to be getting hit here as he didn't really create enough distance, and no LOS breakage, anything of the sort. It's just going to result in the tag. That's going to be Overcome, just kind of wasted. It is our Delhi survivor too though, so you know he is going to be able to unhook himself, but that is going to spell 4 stages once we hook him, and that will be 4-2, so not quite the win condition just yet, but it is looking pretty grim for our survivors. You know, on paper they might not win, the killer might not meet the win condition just yet, but he is definitely on his way to. And as we do get that second down onto Stay Narrows, White's still on the floor as well. I think he just knew White was the Delhi player and just opted to go for somebody else in the vicinity, and that happened to be Stay Narrows, who just kind of died 12. And yeah, I mean, maybe even just, I was going to say Slug White, but we did manage to pick him up from our remaining survivor in the trial, which is Quinn. Yeah, Quinn's the healthy one at the moment, just kind of stuck over at 12. We're checking lockers too, anticipating the stealth, but we know he's around somewhere. But Ground Zero's opted to have none of it. Just go back to the generator here over at 3. Really was to solidify this 4K 4 generators. My God, if we see a 4K 4 on Father Campbell's Chapel, this is going to be absolutely crazy. And, you know, Ground Zero going back to those generators over at that bottom side here. So, you know, bottom side 5 interrupted. That's going to be White just forced to stealth into the corner of 5. Oh no, these serves are in such like bad positions at the moment. I mean, safe positions to not get hit. We've tried to catch out a survivor down in the basement. We know they're in this vicinity again. Just, you know, Ground Zero doing the knowing at the moment. Yeah, like I said, the survivors in bad positions, but safe positions nonetheless. They have to take this game very slow, considering that, yeah, White's injured. You know, you do have 2 healthy survivors ready to press generators too, probably one at 3, one at 12, but we're stuck at 12 here from Stay Naros. Quinn just stuck at 3. Yeah, see, 12 and 3 being pushed. I do like this from the healthy survivors. White was able to, managed to evade any kind of down. Being injured as well, just hiding in the corner of 5, so very well done to him. Props there. Definitely still within their reach to be able to 4K2, and we do take this kick onto the generator here over at 3. Back on 12 goes Stay Naros, and White just kind of still stealthing over around the corner of Shaq, and that's a good position. Actually, no, you know what? I take it back because that's a good position for him to be in, considering he is the Delhi player. Regardless if he gets hooked or slugged, it does not matter. They get those 2 generators in the background popped regardless. So it just matters of what the killer does here. He is really trying to sniff out White, but ultimately not finding him. That's going to be Stay Naros back on 12, but a little bit hesitant to do so, considering the comm was he left 5, left 6, 7 entirely. So again, back on those generators here, considering that our killer is all the way over at the bottom side once more, really trying to sniff out White on that 5 generator there. Stay Naros again, just hesitant, reluctant to get on that generator, and Ground Zero really trying to cover the ground over at that bot side. I think he's missed White entirely. Again, if we get a quick stealth or switch around to see where White is, he's just stealthing in the corner of Shaq. So ideally, if Ground Zero was to watch this back, he'd be punching himself, considering that all he had to do was check the edge map instead of basement. Anywho, that being said, it's still 4 hooks, 2 freshers. They are still technically in the lead. Regardless of how this game can pan out on the scorecard, they are still in the lead. Ground Zero definitely has to just commit at least 1 chase. For the love of God, get at least 1 more stage, because it could be problematic. I would say if White was nice and healthy in the trial, we'd be at problems here, Chief. Potentially. Oh, well, we do have really tight generators here at the bot side, so maybe not.
Yeah, but Hunter, we are about to lose 3, and we know 6 is such high progress. If we're able to reset White, it's doable. We need to not give a single stage. Unfortunately, Quineer will need to avoid going down for the rest of the game, having been spotted out on Gen popping. Unfortunately, we've actually decided to not chase that and commit it for the rest of the game for that final stage. We're giving our survivors time. They're going to go reset on that hill. I believe it was at 8. Yeah, they're just positioned for it still, but the stealth is more important. Quineer is also cleansing a totem in the background. He might be getting his inner up. I'm not too sure if our killer had... No, he doesn't, because he has Dying Light. Yep, getting his inner up. Lovely stuff. Preparing for a potential reset needed in the future. I mean, look, 2 gens remaining. One of them at 6 being previously 99, I'm sure has lost a fair bit of progress so far. We haven't gotten a look at it in recent times, but you are right, Hunter, unless we are able to break this now 4 gen with 9, deep 8, deep 6, and main. It's going to be really difficult, right? As much as I'm now saying it's doable, it is going to be really difficult. You can't have any survivor go down and be hooked. Obviously, they can go down and get a pallet save, flashlight save, whatever, right? They can't be hooked. Anyone getting hooked, game over.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, survivors all in safe positions at the moment. They're really trying to get White reset. Look at Stay Naros rotating to the 5 section of the map. Ground Zero is so close there as well, but he is going to be just blinking back to the top side here. Oh my God, if this pays off and okay, so there's some healing perk going on there that's going to, yeah, there it is. It's Dying Light. Okay, well, there you go. Just working out into our favor, unfortunately, for our killer. A perk that's meant to aid us ended up hurting us in that situation. But everybody healthy at the moment. Not a single stage can be given up. Quinn does have Sprint Burst in hand to make a way down to the top side of the map. Stay Naros over at that generator there. Is he the balanced player? I didn't quite get to check that because he does have the heal. No, he is the dead hard DS. Okay, but, you know, that's not really going to aid us in this. Actually, Dead Hard will, but because we have access to Dead Hard being hooked, we do have White. Oh no, we found White. And it's all fell apart. We're getting tagged. We've ran into the middle of everything. This is going to be a consecutive blink potentially, and we've left everything. Ground Zero, what are you doing? Just follow the chase. Regardless if the 2 generators pop in your face, it'll just be the win condition. You have to secure this. So we've opted to leave the tag and play the tags around the gens. We're playing for the 4K. Okay, everything's a little bit more in our favor considering we have found Quinn. If we didn't find Quinn, could have been problems again. But ultimately going down in everything, that'll be the down. That'll be the last stage needed for the win condition to be met. That's going to be Requiem taking home the set. My oh my, to pinch a set off of the other team, considering they had picked the set, is always going to be a plus in your back pocket. And we saw it last game. We saw, I do believe it was Adolescence take away Kratos' pick of the Mastermind, you know, 4K 1 to 6-2. So Stay Naros now trying to play the edge map is going to be getting hit around the tree, doesn't really have a whole lot to go on. He's going to be faking the pallet, and that's going to be Ground Zero falling for it as well. Psych, we got you. And yes, Chef, we're just following up with those blinks, and that's going to be... Oh, we've baited out the Dead Hard unintentionally, might I add. My God. Again, now, I guess, with the survivors realizing that they cannot take away this set, I think they'll start to play a little bit more aggressive, and this will be a little bit more of a faster paced game. We are heading more towards that 13-minute mark as it currently stands. There's been some long sets here tonight, Chief, and honestly, I'm thoroughly enjoying them considering the intensity of it all.
Oh, 100% Hunter. I mean, this set has been my favorite of the night. Honestly, every single part of this nurse set so far has been incredible. I think this is some of the highest level DVD we've seen in a very, very long time. And I'm loving it. I love watching nurse sets. Obviously, me being a nurse player now for me, I don't think there's much better. Watching the killer that you love, the killer you play in competitive, being played at a very high level is always going to feel good. I'm sure you feel the same about Blight Hunter. It's exceptional. You love to watch it, and watching Ground Zero get to play a killer that he is very, very comfortable on to this level, and obviously their survivor side as well, putting up the performance they did was just, it was a incredible, incredible sight.
Yeah, 100%. Now we're going to be kicking this generator here. Ground Zero now on the front foot again, you know, in a power position. But our survivors are still full, nice and healthy. Definitely still outable. I mean, look, I want to say still outable, but when I look at the gens, I'm always just going to chop it down to, yeah, this is just a 4K. And with this tag coming onto White, might even just kind of back up my thought process in that regard. But it all really depends. Does he decide to hook the deli here? That's going to be Eruption in the background, as you did hear the screams over at 7. Yeah, slugging that. He knows the deli, so he's going to go back to that Eruption proctor generator. That was a Quinn scream in the background. It was a very sad Claudette off the generator there, as we do take a kick here over towards 9. We are going to be just sightseeing over at 7, but we are going to be going back to the slug here, so maybe we just, you know, eat the deli. And I wouldn't even really hate that idea, considering that we are pretty tight for time at the moment. So, again, White's just going to be getting hooked over at that 12. As soon as, like, the killer goes back to the bot side, I want to say that White's just going to insta-deli off that. I want to say the survivors currently at the moment are just stealthing for their gens. It was previously 9 and 7. Yes, Stay Naros is stealthing around this 9 tile here, and, you know, Quinn back on 7 probably should have been in his best interest to go back on 5, considering we're going to be interrupting these generators momentarily as we do take the first blink here over towards the corner of the map over at 7. This is going to be a kick and an Eruption pop. Goes the Weasel proc as well onto 7. We're going to be going back to the unhook, or where that had just happened, the deli rather, sorry. I said unhook because I also saw Stay Naros here stealthing for the jet over at 9, so I just thought he went for the pool, completely forgot there was deli. Even though I was talking about it like literally 2 minutes ago, not even like a minute ago, but Ground Zero, again, trying to cut off any rotations heading towards the top side of the map here, but the survivor's not falling for any of it. We've actually juked out the killer, and White's just kind of stealth edge map here again, using that urban evasion to his advantage. We are going to be kicking the bottom side of 6, And again, it's just rinse repeat. You know, Ground Zero goes back to the gens, kicks the gens, finds stealthing survivors, maybe gets it down, gets a hook. But again, the talent that happened so early, it just made it a very hard game for these three to really play. And you know, granted that they've been in the game for this long, you really got to give them a round of applause for doing so, considering the nature of the game. We do see Quinn here just kind of working that generator over at 5. Didn't really have a whole lot to do, but as he does get tagged, he is going to be trying to just string along the killer over to 3, but Ground Zero doesn't want any of it. He's going to be trying to catch out Stay Narrows, trying to rotate to the top side of the map. And no, you can't crouch behind the rock there, buddy. You have been seen. Enemy spotted. That's going to be a tag. Not really a whole lot to run onto. That's the one blink as well. That's dangerous because even if you juke the first blink, that second blink's going to get you. And we get him on the first blink, so, you know, 1 blink, 2 blink, that's gone. That's Stay Narrows on the floor. And that's Stay Narrows also out of the game for those who are paying attention to the hook stages. So at the moment, as it currently stands, it is is it 8 stages now, considering that the Stay Narrows is dead? I believe it's 8 stages at the moment. So, you know, only White and Quinn left in the trial, both hooked as well. I don't think they're going to be able to get another generator done. The reset's been caught out now, so you do see the rotation over at 12, and you would anticipate that somebody's just kind of stealthing here over at 4. I think we've caught a glimpse of somebody over at 5. He is looking in this vicinity. Yeah, look, the scratch marks. He knows somebody is around here. I didn't actually see anybody, considering I think Discord streams had something to do with that, and my crappy internet. But that's going to be a tag onto White. He has already used his deli, and in the background, that's going to be Quinn back on that gen over at that, what was it, 9? Anyway, that's going to be the down. No eruption proc there. Preemptively leaving the generator, and Ground Zero getting sluggy for the 4K is now going to traverse over to 9. I don't think he's going to be able to see Quinn, though. He did have fixated in his back pocket, so as we do take the kick here over at 9, yeah, Quinn's just used fixated to get onto the other side of the map to get that pick up nice and early. But Ground Zero, I think he's sniffing him out. I think he knows that game plan, and oh, he's so close again, but I don't think he's seeing Quinn. Again, this map being so big and so much LOS breakage, it's just really hard to stay on top of things. So you really have to, again, give credit to Ground Zero to be able to, you know, kind of hold on to dear life for this 4K too. He does know that there's a pickup in the background here and has used his blinks to get to there as quickly as possible. But the survivors have evaded everything, and I'll say that, and we found White again. That back on the floor you go, buddy. But Quinn back on another generator here. Wait. It did get procced, but I think Quinn got off in time just before the eruption proc, because I didn't hear a scream, and we don't have any aura onto Quinn, who was over at 5. Hang on a second, we're blinding him. Hold on. This is actually quite funny for an end game. We've gotten the hook in the unhook, sorry, in front of Ground Zero's face. We're going to be tagging Quinn. And then ultimately, he's just going to be going down as he has nowhere to run. Try the juke the killer. Didn't really work out to his favor. Ground Zero is going to be slugging for that last down of the match. That's going to be a forced DS. I don't think Ground Zero wants any of it. We could probably just sit here. Don't eat it. He's going to eat it. Okay. And if we don't miss the DS, this will be the final chase of the game. Wait, hang on a second. It's not DS?
It's not DS, Hunter. That is,
it's not.
That
wait, yeah, no, the guy with DS died. Yeah, my bad.
He did.
He gone. He gone.
My fault.
No, my bad. Just I just completely went over my head. But no, honestly, a very good performance put up by Ground Zero, nonetheless. You know, 4K2 to 2 Teacher and Quinn. You know, the survivor lineup that you saw last time around. So hopefully they can pull a better result on the goal. Granted, it's not their pick. You can only really hope if you're really rooting for Kaitokids here. But if you're rooting for Requiem, they're ahead at the moment, and they are killing it right now. But we're going to be seeing our survivors spawn all the way here over at the top side, just making their rotations and not being found on a goal set and having no chase within the first 30 seconds of the game. I got to say that I'm a little bit impressed, but, you know, Yokai traversing here over towards the 2 side. Again, really struggling. Our survivors all in favorable positions, in safe positions to say the least as well. Do see White just stealthing around a locker there. We do see 2 Teacher hopping on that generator over at mid 6, and you know, the heartbeat coming towards White, but I don't think we're really moving towards there. You know, Yokai is just going to go all the way to deep 6 here, where we had momentarily touched the generator, but didn't work it enough to be caught out. 2 Teacher just kind of stealthing around this window here, ready to vault it when seen. Does have access to sprint burst if it comes back in time, but Yokai taking the kick onto that gen has now left it, and 2T just again, really playing extra patient and has not been caught out just yet. We do see White and I want to say that was Stay Naros making their rotations, as we did see Quinn in the background, just kind of stealthing around. So again, Survivor's playing very cautiously and very slow, to say the least. But, you know, it's all how you really have to play this set. And we do take the first chase here onto the Shack. You know, Stay Naros is going to be vaulting back into Shack via light and is going to be trying to, you know, juice the killer around that doorway, but unfortunately getting caught out with a Kakune tag, and that's going to be the first tag. We're probably not even going to chase this as the first chase, or no, we're going to opt to commit this as there's no pressure on the map, and we have checked, we've taken full advantage of that corrupt intervention too. So it's not going to be wasted in any regard. We are going to be not coming out of cooldown quite early enough or being able to block Stay Naros. He's going to make that vault and just try to make his death location all the way over at 11. We're trying to body block him there. We do have access to this pallet outside of main, but we're not going to be making it, unfortunately. We do see some gen progress in the background, but not a whole lot, Chief. Probably only about half, and then with this pain res, it's just going to be a little bit more regulated.
Yeah, 100% Hunter. I do think Naroz's chase probably wasn't as long as our survivors were hoping, considering we spent so long stealthing. And, you know, I think that is definitely how you need to play the start of a Ghoul set. It's really important, I think more so on Ghoul than a lot of killers in the OSL pool, to wait out Corrupt. I think having Corrupt out of the trial before a chase has started is, well, obviously it's a very big deal. It's a very big deal on any set, Hunter, but I think on Ghoul more than anything, it is the difference between some results and outs. Honestly, at this point, I think it is that important. And I think the other thing that's very important when you are facing the Ghoul is getting rid of Ruin. Ruin is a very strong perk on this killer, and it's something Yokai has not opted to bring into the trial. Instead, our fourth perk, instead of being Ruin, is Call of Brine, which is a perk I do personally quite like. I know it has some mixed opinions in the community. Some people think it's a complete waste of a perk slot. Unfortunately for Yokai, by the way, aren't able to get the Kagune mark onto our fresh survivor of our ace. This will mean that we will have to continue our tunnel out on to Naroz. Actually, not even opting to do so. We're just going to try and get the Kagune tag now onto Quinir. This will be our enraged back up. Maybe we don't even continue the tunnel out, seeing Naroz having made it to Shack. Yeah, we're just going to commit onto Quinir at this point. Now, bit of an interesting decision, Hunter. I feel like it could bite us in the arse if it is to come back to it. Unfortunately, our leads are not going to do enough for us. We aren't able to win that 50. We get a nice drop on the pallet and a vault back. Quinir able to survive on it. He's going to make it to the window if he so chooses, but he has not. We'll play the pallet some more. I don't believe we make it this time. We do. My word, what the hell has occurred there? This man must have Resi. I didn't see if he does, but if he doesn't, that's egregious. Yeah, that's a Resi vault if I've ever seen one. I'm glad I'm not talking out my own arse, as I said moments ago. But finally, that will be Quinir on the ground. We have a beamer. He looks towards the hill. Oh no. Oh no, Hunter. Oh no.
Oh, I mean,
like this.
It's just, it's not what Yokai needs at the moment, and he has baited out 2Teacher. He's just been, after that flashlight save, been caught over at the rock. Is going to be eating a tag and running to where all those generators have been finished. Quinn going to be resetting nice and far away from the killer. Our survivors all preemptively off the generators, so as a result of him not committing that chase onto 2Teacher, he has just reset his own pressure if he isn't able to find out Stay Naros here. And he does, okay? So all things are, you know, given to him. He is now going to be following up all the way to the bottom side of the map, and I think he just has to commit this now. So Stay Naros going to be vaulting back into the killer there, and that's the new tech that you got to do with this killer. It's just a standstill vault back into him, because you can't go down after vaulting it now, no longer. That's not a thing. But you know, it's something that's underlooked, and it's something that really needs to be normalized now when versing the Ghoul. It's the counterplay, rather. We're going to be pre-dropping this pallet now, and we know we're not going to be getting grabbed over on that pallet, so we're just going to be making the distance back to 6 here and just using that long wall to be able to make the loop down into deep 6 rather than shallow 6. I thought we were going to go for the shallow 6 loop, but I've been sorely mistaken. And Quinn now just been getting caught at this bus here and has evaded the Kagune tag very nicely, might I add. Does manage to make the pallet again. This man is absolutely crazy. Second time around, he's gotten away with murder, but this time not so fortunate. Is going to be getting tagged with that Kagune mark, as we do take the kick onto the generator in the background to slowly start putting pressure on those gens. And again, back over at the 12 side, this is going to be white being pushed off this 12 generator and just opting to stay at the pallet here, I suppose, of creating the distance, as he was going to be able to get tagged if he didn't do so. But going to be missing that swing through the pallet there. Yokai manages to get the second time around, and we are going to be trying to use balance to the best of our ability. And 3, 2, 1, there it comes in. Now we do have the dumpster filler, but we opt not to play it. We go for the matchstick tile over at 1, so we have to be careful not to really be mind gamed here. And you know what, in all honesty, I think he's played very well, but he's been blocked at the pallet. And so even though our survivor white had played very well, I think Yokai just played that little bit better to get in front of the survivor just before he made the dumpster pallet there. And this may be just maybe a pain resonance if we're fortunate enough. I didn't really get to see the RNG. You know, we've opted to go to 9, so 9's where our pain resonance is. We're close to wiggling off, but I don't think that we make it in time. Yeah, very close, but unfortunately, just not really happening for our survivors there. That's going to be pain resonance on. I'm not too sure what gen. I think it'll be around 12 as opposed to 7 here. 7 does have some progression, but it's not a whole lot. And 2 teacher back on that 12 generator. Yeah, just stopping it from regressing via the pain resonance there. And, you know, just where did Quinn go? He is injured at the moment. He is just kind of forced to work a generator, just nice and out of the action. And there he is over at 2. 2 teacher going to be getting hit with that Kagune tag. He's going to be forced over into 1 with the matchsticks, but not committing it on the side of Yokai. And all of a sudden, every survivor in the trial, 1 on hook, 2 injured, is currently minus a health state other than Stay Naros. And what, oh what does he do? He is ready in setup for the pool. He does have 7 being worked, but with a generator so, you know, well progressed and a hook all in the same vicinity, he's just kind of at a loss. But you know, we've sent in 2 teacher injured and we've gotten that pull anyway, so they're all nice and spread right now. And Yokai all of a sudden has lost his pressure, just venturing off a little too far. But I mean, following up now, we are going to be trying to catch off 2 teacher on the opposite side of the bus here. The hit take coming in, and that's going to be everybody injured at the moment. So we are able to make that 6 filler there, but we opt not to use it. We go for the deep 6 filler on both survivors, and we are playing in 2s, playing with friends. Mr. Sir, this is not the Karasu set. We need to be splitting up, maybe, because we don't want to be giving the killer too much pressure that we don't need to be. But yeah, there's a split up there. 2 teacher going to be playing the pallet, winning every single 50, pre-dropping that pallet in the process. Is able to make a way to the new loop there. Going to be losing that 50 though and going down ultimately. But you know, Kaitokids are putting on an absolute performance right now. They only have 3 stages given up to the killer here, Chief.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I don't think anything has really gone the way Yokai intended. I think it's been really unfortunate, right, Hunter? I think they haven't really put too many foots wrong. Maybe they didn't commit to something quick enough. They played hit and run and sort of ping-ponged back too much too early. And it's cost them a lot of ground. Obviously, that first chase also went on for a... Not the first chase, sorry. I believe it was the second chase. The first chase was quite short. The second chase went on for quite a while. They popped 2 gens. And obviously, that third was 99 before it was interrupted. It's only now just popped moments ago. We swing at that pallet, and that is a miss. So we're going to opt to leave Paneer yet again. We predict the unhook coming in. Actually, we predict somebody at 12. That's going to be a Kagune reapplication, but not a tag. We'll eat the stun in return. White give and take so far. But he is able to avoid an injure, as he ventures over to 1 Tau. Yokai has no interest anymore. We'll head on over back to mid-6, looking for something that he can be given for free. And hello, 2 teacher, that's exactly what we are trying to find. An injured survivor, although having an eye loop and Shaq to play to. Naraz is also here for a reset now that Yokai is venturing back to 12. White, not injured with balance letting in hand, is once again going to be able to make it to the 1 tile, hopefully avoiding a tag once more. The Kagune mark does not connect for an injure yet again. Oh my god, a Yokai. This is what I was talking about, Hunter. You have to feel bad because they're really not putting too many feet wrong. It looks like they maybe haven't touched a killer since the update. They weren't aware of the vault. They weren't aware of the new the change to the stickiness of the reticle and how that works around corners. And yeah, it feels like things really just haven't gone their way so far.
Yeah, his pressure's all been reset. He's got 1 injured now, considering he's found 2 teachers just kind of stealth over at 6. But everything's been done in this vicinity. We are going to be playing the window very effectively here, winning that 50-50 mind game. And we've just fully commit the window as opposed to playing the doorway. So We are going to be trying to get that nice block there. Two Teacher now has Sprint Burst to be working with over into the Z-War corner of 5. We're going to be swinging at a whole lot of nothing. That's plus 10 metal there for Yokai. Now going to be following up around the Z-War, but has just powered it down and is ultimately able to get the down onto Two Teacher. That's Eruption procking in the background. We do see that 12 and 7, both generators that have been procced, were being worked. So regardless, going to be taking this hook here over at 5 nice and far away. Quinn ready for the insta-pull when the killer leaves or chooses to do so. Staynaris is preemptively leaving 7 to be able to not be found and give up any tags that he doesn't need to be given up at the moment. So Yokai doesn't even kick 7, I don't believe. He's just opted to go all the way down to 12. Again, being caught the tentacles. No, this is really hurting him right now because these are some crucial tags he just needs to be happening. Like, I don't even want to say he's positioning or his macros off guard. It's just the micromanagement for this killer. I mean, yeah, just really, I don't know. In all honesty, it's just sad to see, but we are going to be pre-dropping this pallet here over on the side of Quinn, who's, you know, caught over at 3, but ultimately getting tagged with the Kagune mark. Now going to be vaulting shack window, so do we commit this or do we leave? I don't think, yeah, I think we just probably have to commit this in all honesty. This is Quinn being a fresh hook as well, you know. No Delhi, so we have nothing to worry about there. You know, we just want to camp out all remaining stages onto Quinn at the very least. Wait, we do have a generator ready to be popped. This is 99 gen. Is this, was that an adren play? Wait, what was?
It was just 99 for the sake of 99ing it. No one has adren. Two Teachers dead. We've taken the hit. He's not taking a very good hit because as we can see Quinier is still being chased. Naraz is now also here to take a hit. Trying to protect Quinier at all costs, but it's actually costing us quite a lot. We have 1 survivor on the ground. We now have 2 survivors injured, playing around bust mid-map. They have to make it all the way to 9, but the Ghoul enraged is not going to be able to give you all that much distance. No! That's the only way we could have lost the distance. No, Yokai, this is exactly what I mean. That was either the most calculated decision I've ever seen from Naraz. Not Naraz, sorry, who was that? Was it Naraz? I think it was Naraz. That was either the best play I've ever seen in my life to like force the grab, or it was the luckiest thing I've ever seen. And you like, I feel so bad for Yokai, man. Okay, so even more needs to go wrong for Nortor, who we've seen put in incredible performances so far on the killer. So as we get into it, Hunter, obviously 1, do you think he can do it? And 2, how do we do it? How are we going to end up doing it?
Well, my bias says yes, considering he's my former teammate and very good friend. But how is he going to do it? Honestly, he can just play for his stages. He doesn't even really have to tunnel here. But he's going to get a very nice find very early. As you did see Yokai last game, he struggled to find his first chase. Oh my god, we're given free tags. No, why have we just fully ran into the killer? Oh my god. This is not what you need on a Ghoul set because he thrives off of tags. Hello? I mean, sorry, regardless. How do you do it? Yeah, again, he can play for his stages. I think he just has to kind of make sure the chases are a little bit shorter as opposed of Yokai's chases, you know, not make as many micromanagement mistakes, and I don't think he's going to be doing so. He can afford to play a pretty aggressive game, and he's already off to an amazing start. I mean, look at that. That's going to be a down, you know, very, very quickly. That's going to be a firecracker as well. He doesn't even need to turn around, so, you know, kind of a waste there. Probably should have just been on a generator, in all honesty. Pain Resonance 2 to slow down the regression, has access to Ruin. Now, this is something you pointed out last trial where we didn't see Ruin. We saw Call of Brine, which, yeah, granted, you said was like, you know, a perk that it is favorable, and it is a fairly good perk in its own respectiveness, but I don't think, yeah, Ghoul sets are correct for it, in all honesty, when you have access to Ruin. And we've been caught at the pallet too, Ruin going down! And we're on track for an amazing game, potentially even high 4K. I mean, we're just going to even be slugging that. And, oh, look, I said play free stages. He can just play free stages. A little bit worried about the pallet save here, but he really shouldn't be. They're on the other side of the map. It'd be silly to go for a pallet save here so early onto the game with just no pressure on the board. Yeah, look, we do have 1 generator over at 2 being worked with the reset over at Deep 6. We do see the reset being finished via the avatar's changing image. So, you know, Nortor covering ground in the middle of the map here. We do have the rotations, one over at 2, one over at deep 6, and one ready for the pull. So we're going to be going around 12 just to kind of catch out whoever's working 2 and trying to zone them off into 3 potentially. But I mean, Nortor's just content and potentially even camping second onto Rune. I mean, psych, I'm joking, and that's an egregious hit, being so far away from that tag. That's going to be ground 0 being marked with the Kagune tag. I mean, now Nortor, 3 dashes in hand, can just intercept the pull here. Oh my god, the traverse ability from Nortor is crazy. He gets another Kagune tag as well. That's 3 survivors in the trial injured, and we still have yet to pop the first generator. We're on set for the 3rd stage already. Nortor's putting on a performance here, Chief.
How have we gotten those tags? Like, what? We're gonna get away with the life just barely. Shirley does lose that 50. Nortor swings in frustration, but you are right. We're on track to get a 3rd stage before we even get a gen done, and that would be basically the win con achieved before anything was said and done. Obviously, 2 stages needed after that, I think, right? I don't remember the fresh hooks, to be completely honest with you, but you know, Riley's gonna have to try and last for everything, and his mother at this point to be able to get this game any point winnable from now on. You know, we do have a fair few parts around here and Crane to work with, so we will be able to last. Ghoul, outside of his power, is effectively just an M1 killer. We're gonna get the vault back, but Shirley does have is enough distance around to not worry about trying for the vault back. He's gonna play some 50s on the short side of Crane now. Unfortunately, he does get stuck, but wins it regardless. That's not him taking the vault, but moving up to the top side. He now gets some extra distance around, falling all the way back to his pallet at 6. He will make the vault just in time. Fortunately, that is also 2 gens for this chase. Riley has managed to recover the game perfectly. This is still 2 stages on the board, 4 required to win, but fortunately for him, will be him going down edge 7. Sorry, losing my breath there after being so shell-shocked from this Kagune marks. I mean, Nortor so far has made up for everything we watched the Ryokai go through. I mean, I'm speechless. I cannot. The one onto Shirley through Rune is egregious. I've never seen anything like that in my life, Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, my god. It kind of leaves you speechless in a way, and that being said, we do take chase onto Luna here, who's just forced over into 12. He's just going to be going down momentarily. 2 injured survivors left in the trial at the moment, nobody healthy. You do have some pressure on the board, but it's nowhere near enough to be worrisome. When you get this hook, it's a 4-stage game, 4-stage refresh at the moment, I'm not too sure. Luna going down ultimately after unhooking as well. 5 stages, we're closing in. Look, wait, if it's 5-4, we've won, because it was 5-3 the previous result. No, yeah, we won on fresh hooks. Okay, so, wow. I mean, Nortor. Yeah, we're going to Spirit. Hey, you know what? I bet Nortor doesn't even hate that, because if I recall correctly, he plays Spirit. So, I'm going to be taking that break onto the pallet there, and he's just going to be going back to his generators on Gen Patrol again. And look how tight these 3 generators here on the left side of the map. You know, 9, main, and deep 11, so doesn't really even have to move from this position, considering the hook is not quite in the middle of it, but it is very close to the 3 gen here, and Nortor's just happy sightseeing over at 11, going back and forth between his hook, just playing patiently, waiting for the resets to come in, the survivors to recollect, or, you know, if they're playing aggressive on the pool, he'll just guard the hook. So probably in Shirley and Rune's best interest right now to take this downtime to reset if they're not doing so already. Nortor in his best interest to try and ping pong around the hook end gens as it currently stands, and you know, this 2nd stage inbound right now, so unless Luna's around for the pool, I just dare say this is going to be ground 0 hitting that 2nd stage, and like clockwork, you will have 2 survivors left on 2nd stage. So pick your poison. Who do you want to chase? Do you want to chase the tunnel out onto our survivor ground 0, or do you want to take chase onto our survivor Shirley in this instance? How about neither? We'll go on to Luna regardless and play for our stages all again. So I mean, to facilitate the 4K, you definitely want a death right about now. You know, it's not the worst thing in the world chasing Luna. but they do have one stage to spare. You just probably have to find another injured survivor before the reset does happen. And in the background, I think that's around 5 that generator is going to be popping momentarily, but the 3-gen, like I had said, is quite detrimental at the moment, you know, and especially with everybody injured. If we catch our ace in shorts just over in that deep portion of 11, that could be troublesome. But Nortal going the other way, trying to sniff out the reset, I want to say. I mean, he's left the hook entirely, so this just allows our ace to get the pull. And Ground Zero just back on that generator over at 11. Somebody working main as well. Nortor now catches out. Oh no, hang on a second, this is Luna. There's a Luna is a potential tunnel out. We have 3 potential tunnel outs, all being on death hook, all being injured at the same time. And this is, we chosen to go for the only guy left that isn't dead. Like, if we down him, he's just wait, hang on a second, how is he?
He 99 reset. He 99 reset. Sorry, Hunter. I don't know if you had spotted that out, but he did that before he got the unhook onto not Luna, but the previous unhook. That was beautiful stuff to avoid that tag. We nearly had a he nice guy though killer. That would have been lovely to see. Speaking of things that are lovely to see, not that dead hard. Luna is finally the tunnel out. We did not get the wholesome Chungus 8 hook friendly killer moment. We also didn't get to see a 4K1. This gen at 11 is going to pop. That is beautiful stuff from our survivors to get it down to, at the most, a 4K0. That bound does mean we are going to, unfortunately, not be able to protect our friend Shirley with the adrenaline. Ground Zero did not do enough. Shirley will be getting hooked. That's going to be 2 survivors dead in the trial. 9 stages secured so far. Ground Zero will be heading over somewhere, preventing this tag for as long as possible. He does just enough to not get marked by the Kagune tag. He's now stuck inside main, has to make it all the way to deep 6 to get out. Runes at the gate, 99ing it to bait, giving Ground Zero as much time as possible to make it over there. Now that the killer is all the way ventured, well, I'm sure, yep, that gate is open. Rune's going to be playing it safe, and Ground Zero is sending it. He needs to make it somewhere instead of opting for the gate to the hatch. Fortunately, nope, we're trying to body block him. Oh, because it's on the wrong side. Hunter, I did not realize what side it was on, but regardless, hatch and the gate are close enough. Ground Zero is going to get out regardless. That is 9 stages for Fred.
I want to say the top side. This is the bot side. Okay, Two Teacher now in phase form is going to be ready to take this match into his back pocket. Now we have Corrupt Intervention. Hang on, we're getting a quick rotation on our survivors, just stealthing around. But we do have Corrupt Intervention, Pain Resonance, Eruption, and Wretched Fate. Wretched Fate seems to be that one off pick where sometimes it can do you good, sometimes it cannot do you good. We're opting to chase our Obsession right off the bat. So again, Wretched Fate just kind of rendered obsolete at this moment. So Shirali going to be playing around that short filler very nicely, but ultimately getting tagged as he did lose the 50, but has balanced landing ready to be used on this top 12 mid section of the map. He is not going to be making the window. That's going to be a down. That's also the Deja Vu survivor gone as well. So that's your macro. That's your like, you know, extra, what, 9% speed on a generator. I'm saying 9%. I don't think it's 9%. I can't remember if it's 9%. Is it 9%, Chief? 6. Sorry, 6. My bad. Hey,
Oh,
somebody please fact check, please. I know it just makes Jen. I know it makes Jen go faster.
Resi is 9. This is 6, and they add together to be 15. It's 6%. I'm the smart guy. Yes, okay. 6%. Anyways, Shirley off the hook. Unfortunately, you were talking about it a bit earlier. This is definitely not the survivor you want getting chased, and to secure that, we're actually just gonna have Luda give away a free down. That's probably not the best way to play that, dropping off the hill. We're going to be on a pallet, though. Oh, we're going to be here for it. We knew that Shirley was at one point close by. Unfortunately, not anymore. And even more unfortunately, we're giving up that hill hook, a quick 2-tap onto Luna for a basement hook. I don't think the position is any better, by the way. I think the position is now a little bit worse. We didn't get much for that chase, or lack thereof, onto Luna. We did obviously secure that extra 6 as being confirmed by our referee. Thank you 100% confirming that, even though I did the funny math moment. Shriley will be able to work a gen with that extra 6% speed now, hopefully not getting found after for a tunnel out. Speaking of things getting found, Ground Zero, our dead hard survivor, an ideal chase has finally been spotted. Forced off his gen, Rune will be popping his gen in the background at 6, and we're going to head back into the basement to try and see if we can spot out our savior. Speaking of finding people, Ground Zero at Tile 9 has given away something for free. That is a tag. Unfortunately, it would spell problems now if an unhook was to be rotated for, and I think with that tag, we know kind of can't afford to do that. You got to kind of let Luna go second now. You need the gens. Rune's potentially positioning for it, but with it being basement a solo save, it's going to be a very unideal trade, especially having another basement hook would be problems indeed. We've not even used the pain res so far, Hunter, but we have so much momentum on the side of 2Teacher. The grounds have been laid for a very, very good result, and if we're able to go and find Ground Zero now, he was previously on this gen at 8. Luna has gone second. Yeah, we spotted him immediately. He's going to be on the ground if we are able to win some 50s. We, oh my god, have smited him over that pallet. That's another stage. Potentially a pain res finally. And actually, we're going to slug. We're going to head back to base. And we know that somebody has to be rotating in. Yeah, Luna's off the hook. Second wind for preventing the tunnel out. But we hit the BT. So that will mean second wind's only going to get rid of our mending status and not much else. We have to last now. Someone also needs to be rotating to get Ground Zero off the ground. No unbreak on the A tiers. Hunter, potential tunnel out at 3 generators. That's a beautiful phase. No pallet to save us on that side of the jungle gym. Death at 3. 3 survivors in the trial, one of them being injured. We don't have time to reset. We're so close by to that. And a pain res finally coming in. My oh my, things are not looking good.
Well, it didn't do a whole lot considering that, you know, the only most progressed generator is, you know, only about 10% done. Regardless, we are going to be taking that tag onto Ground Zero, so back in phase goes 2Teacher, and this can potentially be a 2-tap. I mean, like clockwork, this killer is known for it, so we won't hold anything against you. You know, the Spirit is a strong killer. Not quite S tier, not quite A tier, in my opinion, just somewhere in the middle. But on Wrecker's Yard, it's her home. It's been her home for years. So, I mean, you can really debate, but all in all, she is in tier 2. Hence why she is allowed pain resonance. Regardless, we are going to be getting that pull in the background there, and 2Teacher back on the case. He's going to be trying to get that tunnel out potentially as quickly as possible if he is to go for the tunnel out. We do hear a sad survivor, and yeah, he's just kind of caught the card. We'll get the car wall here over at 7, and we're just swinging into a whole lot of nothing, but we've been caught out here, and that's just going to be them going down. Potentially, if this is not a successful dead hard, which it is, so we've bought time to go to the bottom side of the map here. Ground Zero is going to be vaulting that window from the jungle gym, and almost being swung and hit through that pallet. So 2Teacher going for some really aggressive swings, and I do kind of like this. I mean, you know, if you get lucky, it can really pay off in the end, but if you don't, you just end up getting dedicated a whole bunch of times. So we're blocked by the husk. Wait, we've timed the vault perfectly, so we're allowed to extend the chase even a little bit longer here. And, you know, Ground Zero really putting on the show, you know, like he has to do at the moment. So ultimately going down, though, it was only a matter of time until the juicing came to an end. But we did manage to potentially pop this generator over at the bot side, yeah, because there's no pain resonance to be used here. Rune even off the generator just to kind of facilitate that fact. But 2Teacher back on the prowl is going to be kicking over at 8 and potentially going towards that mid 12 generator, which we saw being worked. Now, does he intercept it in time? Shirali just really playing patiently for the unhook there. Rune able to pop the gen in front of our killer's face. He does have sprint burst to evade the tag as well, so at the very least it is going to be a 4K2. Now the question is, are they able to get at least one generator done in this point in time? Now if we do manage to commit the chase onto Ground Zero, he is our dead hard survivor. Now if he gets the dead hard off and manages to have an absolutely incredible...
Oh, never mind. That's him dead. He's on the ground.
Should I just leave the caster's lounge now, because I seem to jinx everything that I say, Chief? But
maybe Hunter.
Yep. Maybe I should. Look, you know what? Take it away, Chief. I seem to be the bag luck charm here. I think you should take the casting from there. Unfortunately, I was gonna say if we had an amazing chase there, got our dead hard off, we could have been definitely looking at outs if we're able to pop the gens in time, and the overcommit did happen onto 2Teacher. That wasn't the case, but yes, the stage is all yours, my friend.
Where did his BT go, by the way? Like, I swear he was not off that hook for 15 seconds to be killed on that pallet. But apparently he was, and speaking of being killed on pallet, Shirley was unable to make that vault. That's going to be him on the ground. I swear they had way more progress than that. I thought they had another gen that was ready to pop. I thought this was going to be a 4K one, but no, the only gen that they have progress on remaining is that gen at 8. It's only about 50%. Rune has to be somewhere. We know that for sure. Obviously, the survivors in the trial. Shock, horror. That's news to me, apparently, because I just felt the need to state it live on the stream to every person in the viewership. Sometimes I wonder, Hunter, maybe I need to retire as well. But that is Shirley's second hook of the trial. Potentially a pain res as well. Honestly, I didn't see. I'll be completely real. It might have been pain res. I'm not too sure. But speaking of things that I'm not sure about, I'm not too sure if Two Teacher was able to spot Rune, but for certainty he has now. This is him being spotted out at 12.
Yeah, he has been spotted out. And Rune going to be taking the final chase of the game. Is going to be eating that tag and making as much distance as he possibly can to try and, you know, to have a good chase at the very least. That's all he can really do. He's just going to be getting hit over the pallet, and we've seen some absolutely crazy hits this match. I can't lie. I mean, that one over at 7, my God, what was that, Chief? I just did not anticipate that would even be hitting. But Two Teacher able to pull a 4K2 out win. Two Teacher, Nortor, and Steinaros. And for our killer, it's going to be you said this name before, Aitaka, I guess Aitaka, but regardless, we're going to be following up chase here on the bottom side of the map. First chase, nonetheless, True Teacher. Kind of similar to what we had in, I want to say, the Nurse set where he was first chase here. Now, can he pull a better result on the Spirit? We are going to be using Life, but ultimately stopping all the distance we could have created for a little bit of mind games. And Aitaka is just going to leave that chase there. He's going to be committing chase over towards the shack area. And now this is going to be Quinn with flashlight in hand. He's opted to go, again, bottom side of the map. This seems to be where the chases have been comped to be taken, as, you know, we do use a champion of light proc there. If we just kind of held the champions there, we would have just went into phase anyway on the side of our killer, and we wouldn't have been able to make away entirely. But it doesn't matter. We've made quite a lot of distance there. Aitaka back in phase is going back to the middle of the map. We do see Two Teacher over at 9 ready to work that 9 generator, but is forced off it and does not have anything to be working with. Fortunately enough, the entrance of the rock there is facing the wrong side, and Aitaka cannot take advantage of it. Therefore, it's created a large amount of distance for Two Teacher to be working with. He does get hit through the pallet there, though, and now he's forced over towards that mid-6 tile. So it's not a very strong tile. We didn't even really need to go into phase there. We could have just M1 downed him and powered it all, and all of a sudden we've missed a swing. I was going to say we were in a world full of hurt. We could have potentially got a quick down, but now we're able to make the resource deep 6 here. It's a dumpster filler too, and we know how detrimental dumpster fillers can be. As we do pre-drop it, we are trying to play the mind game. We've blinded him, but we've also ran into the killer to where we have just picked up our survivor. Two Teacher on a pain resonance hook there. That's going to slow the progression down just a little bit for our survivors. They were 3 splitting in the background, which is why you haven't seen a generator pop for a little bit just right now, but Aitaka back in that phase is going to take the match back into his hands.
100%. I mean, that start was definitely interesting. Two Teacher kind of lost himself that 50, to be honest, but it's pretty hard against the Spirit, all things considered, so you can't really fault him all too much. Regardless, pretty damn good start for our survivors. Quinir and Nortor, I believe it was, doing more than enough to avoid getting tagged early on. They had pretty damn good chases that chained into Two Teachers. And like you said, we haven't seen a gen pop because they were triple splitting, but it does mean they have a lot of pressure around the map. And if they pop all 3 for the next chase and get things wrapped up and ready, that is basically the game already won, you know? They need 4 to pop to win, 3 to tie. Tycon achieved once they achieve the 3 gens pop. Yep, that's how that works. That's what I just said. Good stuff. No, but obviously, I think Aitaka is also quite aware of that. The triple split was what they opted for, and I think Aitaka knows going back for a tunnel out will mean that all 3 of those gens will end up popping, so he needed to stay topside and find another chase up here, make sure one of these gens didn't pop for free. And, you know, we've managed to find Naroz. Naroz is doing his best to avoid the Spirit in that phase, but Aitaka's headset is too good. We can hear the breathing of Naroz. He does take a tag at 3, and we'll head all the way down to 6 yet again. The Despot decided. Two Teacher, by the way, is just lurking and ready. We're going to drop this pallet, potentially playing for a save, but we instead win a 50. Naroz will last for a little little bit longer, has all the distance to car pile 8, or maybe this filler at 7 that we saw a bit earlier. Tucci is still lurking around as well. Naroz doing his damnedest. He's going to hit this fast fault potentially. No, he's going to fake it and win the 50 on that end, walking back into killer, though that's him on the ground. Eruption on the gens. Tucci finally rotating out of the bottom side of the map. Our gens at 11 and 2 are about to pop. This will be a pain res. Only one of them will do so. Let's see. 11 hit with the pain res. The 2 will pop. Beautiful stuff getting doubled now. 11 still so close by. Those both gens are gonna pop before I think Aitaka can make it to either of them. So the Tycon Hunter has been achieved, but with one more gen to pop, 2 fresh hooks on the board, I think the set is effectively won.
2 stages only on the board, yeah. For the result that we need for our killer, it is looking extremely grim. Aitaka back in that phase form to really catch out Quinn, but has used Champion Alight to evade everything, and now short phased, but ultimately it's costing the tag. He wasn't able to make the crane. Crane was dropped. He's opted to leave, go back for his tunnel out. If we look at the generators, are they holdable in a situation like this with 4 survivors? Definitely not, I would say. I mean, look at the generator progress that we have all the way over at 3, I want to say. Nortor's getting tagged there, but has ultimately ran down to the top side of the map. Aitaka, it's in no interest of him to follow up that chase. But we do manage to catch out Steinaros. He is just forced over into 10. And, you know, once back in the phase, another hit coming in. That's going to be 2 survivors injured on the board. Aitaka back in that phase. Now going to be following up the chase here over at mid 10. Does lose the 50. Steinaros winning that 50 and now has ran all the way into deep 12. Taka is now following up again. Yeah, again. So we're going to be vaulting that window there into deep 12. There is this really crappy filler palette to be working with. But once it's pre-dropped, it's enough inconvenience to buy enough time. And with an amazing dead hard, we are able to make all the way down into 2. Taka following up again. He's just forced to commit this. He can't leave. If he leaves, he loses the gens regardless. They're way too highly progressed. He has Eruption procced on one of the generators, but it doesn't even matter because in 3, 2, 1, that will be 3 out of the way, done in the trial. Kaitokids take away the series for 2-1.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Kaitokids, I think, and I'm going to take a quick look because I'm not certain on this, but I am going to mention it. I believe. Wow, they were heavy favorites. That is actually, I read this completely wrong a bit earlier. I thought Requiem were the favorites in our VIP tipping, by the way, which I am currently referencing. If you want to get involved in that, obviously keep your eyes on the stream at all times. 40,000 channel points, you can go ahead and redeem VIP. Get involved in the Discord with the tipping. If you're not in the Discord as well, !Discord. But done with the plugs, back to the game. Yep, that is Kaitokids, the clear favorites on the night, apparently taking the match 2-1. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. They showed on Spirit that they were just an incredible survivor side. I mean, that chase from Nortor was excellent, and it had to be abandoned, you know. Naroz did enough. Sorry, Naroz, not onto Nortor. Nortor FTP'd Naroz after the hook. Yeah, the chases have been incredible. You know, we've managed to last against the Spirit. We've done some amazing things with Champions for SB, Fixated. Every survivor has played exceptionally well, and we're going to see that 5th gen of the trial all the way at 8 pop. That will be us potentially playing for outs. 4 survivors still in the trial. 2 teacher did just get reset. Gen 8 has popped. We've got this lovely spectator bug where Naroz is in the clouds, so we won't be seeing what he's up to for very much longer, except for from the killer's perspective, we see him venturing towards Shaq. This is a lovely bug. I love this. Oh, we get a little look at him as he vaults that window at 9 tower, camping the pallet now. Aerial view, aerial camera, Aitaka has swung at the pallet to no avail.
The map's so pretty from up here. Oh my god. Oh, sightseeing at its finest. Wait, is he able to actually get out from this? Like, he has 2 bodies if we manage to get the gate open in time. Oh, no. He's out.
That's half face,
He's
though.
out.
Look at the blind. Look at the blind.
Amazing.
Incredible. 3 stages.